I am so happy to have you here today. I'm going to be calling you Auntie Denise. I'm sorry to put our personal relationship all over these virtual spaces, but I have adopted you, so I hope you have adopted me back, okay?
Absolutely.
I think you are absolutely fabulous. And I know you're looking like, where are you getting that from? It's just everything about your soul, your spirit, the way you do things in excellence. So before I get to bragging on you, because I know you don't like that, let's go back. Tell me how long you've been a member of Fellowship Baptist.
I've been a member of Fellowship since 2005, 20 years.
20
20
years.
years. Yeah.
Come on
Yes.
here. You don't hear that often nowadays with
Yes.
people going to churches and being okay. So tell me how you heard about Fellowship.
So my family lives here. I'm a military veteran,
Okay.
and one of my last duty stations was here in Orlando. And my sister was a member of Fellowship. She still is.
Okay.
And so growing up in the church, you know what's good.
Absolutely.
And all it took me going there one time, and I had the absolute honor and pleasure of sitting under the late great Dr. Arthur Dave Sims Sr. moment,
That's
and
a moment.
learned so much.
Absolutely.
So I knew then, because if you know God and you hear God's word, you don't have to look around.
Come
So
on.
after that first visit there, I knew that was going to be my church home. So I
Okay.
joined in July of 2005.
Oh, congratulations. Thank you for your, I don't want to say thank you for your membership, but just thank you for your loyalty. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for being in place. I think that's something that we don't have a lot of conversation around anymore with members and memberships. And I know people watching like, well, Carly, you've been all over the place. We'll talk about that another day. However, I thank you for just, showing us that it is possible to
Oh,
be
yes.
in a house and serving in a house. Now, I also want you, I know you don't like it, but stay with me. I want you to just tell me some of the things that you have done. Like what are some auxiliaries you've been over? What are some places that you've served in? What have you done since you've been in Fellowship?
So I'm currently the president of the Deaconess/Mission Ministry. I'm the vice president of the Shepherd's Care Ministry. And I'm also the official leader of the Jazz Under the Stars thing that we do at Fellowship every year.
Oh, unofficial,
Yeah.
but official, because we officially, unofficially need you in that place. But that's another situation. So I don't know if you caught a little bit of our interview. I was talking to Pastor Sims first. We were talking about the appreciation concert. You were there.
Yes.
How did you feel about it? Like, tell me, as like you helped with planning of it, but just tell me how you felt when it kind of came all the way through.
It was extremely emotional for me.
Was
because,
it?
Yeah, because like Pastor said, we've always wanted to honor his father. And I can honestly say, I don't know if a lot of people have this, but I have a genuine relationship with our pastor now, just like I did with his father. And because we could not do it, Pastor, today we had some hard conversation because he doesn't like the spotlight. He doesn't want anyone to do this. I say, sir, we have to do this, because my words to him was, we didn't do a good job of taking care of your father and honoring him the way he should have been. So that's not going to continue. That
Gotcha.
stops with you. And so we did. We started out with this big gala, lots of money,
Gotcha.
lots of money. And of course, him, like his father, he had the foresight to say, hey, we could do this. We could have pulled it off, but it's the aesthetics. We're struggling to make things right within the church. We got to take care of God's house first before we can go outside and play.
Gotcha.
That's the way I looked at it. And so that's when I first met you. We got a chance to meet Pastor Carl. He said, I want you to meet her. We're going to talk about what it looks like next. And so we met. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm in absorption mode, because I'm like, man, God, I needed this. Because sometimes it can be heavy when you're the one that's being relied on to carry everything. For the most part, it's like, God, thank you. And once I understood the pivot, I went into logistician mode. Like, I don't have to worry about this, because God has blessed Pastor with someone who has those visions.
Yeah.
And even more so, because it's easy to get caught up in the norm.
Gotcha.
Like, this is what we do year after year. And you soon find out, well, we're not moving. We're doing the things, but we're not moving forward. And bringing you in, so, because I'm not going to let you just slide by that either, with your ideas and your personality and your visions. They were marrying up with what Pastor was trying to do as well. One of his favorite words, don't tell him I told you, is innovative.
Gotcha.
And he'll tell me, he said, well, I know you're a little bit older, but you still have some innovations. I was like, sir, I bought that on the way here from the Dollar Tree. But if it works, then
If
let
it
it
work,
work.
then it
Yeah,
work.
it's going to
Yeah.
work. So that was so profound for me. And like you all, that Saturday evening, I'm sitting there because I watched the weather for everything. I was like, shoot, this is not going to be what we were hoping for. And as soon as I walked in, I became immediately, I was emotional because the part that perhaps you guys didn't remember, that was a huge picture of his father on the stage and the
Absolutely.
floodgates. They were just there. And I
Yeah.
was like, I know he's happy about this.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. And it was phenomenal. It was on point. It was fantastic. You could see a lot of thought and effort had gone into it in a short period of time.
Right. That's what. Now that's
A
very good.
short period of
Cause what did we
time.
do?
Maybe 3 weeks.
Maybe 3 weeks.
Maybe 3 weeks. And that's very
Wow.
gracious because we were on track when we met to do
The
the gala.
gala. Right.
And then the next thing I know, I'm standing inside the sanctuary. I took out from work that day. I'm standing inside the sanctuary and I was like, oh my God, it's real. All of this is really real. We
Hmm.
are moving from surviving to thriving. And it was the music, the atmosphere, the people engagement, all of it was just so. And oftentimes when we use overwhelming, it means a negative thing. Not in
Yeah.
this case. It was
Yeah.
overwhelming because it was a heart thing. Like,
Absolutely.
oh my God, this is what it's supposed to be. And I saw Pastor moving through the sanctuary like he always does, making sure that this isn't about a concert. This is about worship. This is about
Yep.
fellowship. This is
Yep.
about the love that's
Hmm.
always at fellowship, reaching out to us, to the people who were visiting. You were doing the same thing. And you asked me, and I thought it was so awesome. You was like, what do you think? And I just kind of smiled because that's all I could say because I don't know that I was thinking anything. I was just in a moment of emotion. Like, this is so phenomenal.
Yeah, because it matters to me. Like I try to tell people all the time when you go into a new house and again, see, I was hired to do something.
Okay.
Okay, right, for the gala. And then when I found out and we got to talking, they was trying to explain to me, I was like, okay, so we about to shift this and we just gonna have
Hmm.
church, right? And so I was just so honored to be a part. And to your point, I just try to go into places and create more harmony.
Yeah.
That's really what I was looking for. So yeah, I'm doing this under God, and yeah, I'm trying to make sure we honor the leaders. But your approval, if I be so honest, was everything to me. So I was trying not to stare at you too much, because again, when you're coming in somebody else's house, and if I just be respectful, like this is your church, you've been here 20 years. You see what I mean? I can have the most innovative ideas all day long, but if it's not, I feel like received,
Right.
then I missed the mark because this is not a show. It's
Right.
supposed to be ministry, right?
Right.
And so that's why I was looking. I was like, okay, where's she at? Okay, where's she sitting? I looked at you from the stage. I said, okay, she's smiling a little bit. Then I see you lift your hands, and I was like, oh, we good. Holy Ghost is in here.
Yeah.
We all good. So I wanted to also talk about the fact that you guys or fellowship has amazing events. Okay. This church is more than just a church. I really want you to give me some information or just talk to me about it's called Jazz Under the Stars.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Okay, so Jazz Under the Stars, it wasn't my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Gail Burks, one of the members there, she actually gave birth to the idea back in 2020. And,
Okay.
post pandemic, trying to get people to come back into church and just like we want to have something, do something outside of worship without any negative connotation because, Christians are viewed as, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. And so she already had relationships with Troy Harris, the saxophonist who came.
Okay.
And our first year, it was good. It
Okay.
was good. It was inside the sanctuary because, again, we were saying Jazz Under the Stars, but we always had to do it in the sanctuary because of the heat or
Okay.
because of storm, because we were doing it around July timeframe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the second year, same thing, the heat, we're going to do it. And then we were blessed, and so that the two churches merged. And young Pastor Sims came over, and I went to him and I said, hey, sir, this is something we normally do. Do you want to move away from that or do we continue? He was like, make it happen. I love that. He said, make it happen.
Gotcha.
And so we did, and he came out, and again, it was in the sanctuary year 3, and he was sitting over there because, like you, now I'm watching him to make sure that he's approving of this, and this is something he wants to move forward to because, to
Yeah.
be totally transparent, it was a fundraiser. Because we were definitely in need of funding and we didn't want to tax the members. So let's put something together. And when I saw Pastor, they called him up at the end and he just took the microphone. He does what he does. He got to singing it. So even Troy was like, well, I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
And so after it was over, I went to him, I said, sir, we could, absolutely. We got to make it, looking at ways to make it better. And so finally at year 4, do some unfortunate events because it was scheduled for September and we lost his father.
Okay.
We had to shift. So
Okay.
something good still came out of that. And it ended up being in November.
Okay.
And I can remember Pastor saying, I know my father is looking down because finally we're actually doing jazz under the stars outside.
Outside. Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Okay. So talk to me about that setup because when I say it was my first year attending,
Okay.
it, I mean, we have so much land anyway,
Yeah.
right? But the way, I don't know if you set it up, so talk to me through that. It was just amazing. I felt like I was at like a park. I felt like the tents, the lighting on the ground, the DJ, the saxophone player, the chairs that were out. It just like, talk to me about how you were able to kind of transform that space into, talk to me about how you came up with that.
And so it was still the same thing. We looked at, I can't use the words marketing and branding because we didn't understand that then because we're a bunch of, older, seasoned people
Okay.
doing what we know to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, well, if you go to the movies, you're going to pay $30, $40 for the movies, then you got to buy something to eat. So we came up with the idea, there's a solid committee, like, hey, what if we raise ticket price $10, but we feed them an entire meal, not a snack here and a snack there.
Mm-hmm.
So again, fellowship is a whole lot of people with a whole lot of love who wants to see this church continue to grow as it has been doing. So we just came up with a plan, talked with Pastor about it. Pastor's like, well, do I need to do it? No, sir, we'll take care of it. I promise you we'll take care of it. And so the year before, Carla, we only had like the little Christmas lights. And I was
Oh.
like, Christmas lights are okay. I said, we need to elevate the ambience. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm online shopper. I'm online. I see these little globe lights and I said, that's what we need because this is a big deal and we
Yeah.
wanted to present
A
like a
big
big
deal.
deal.
Yeah.
And so we did that. Team, everybody, people who
Right.
don't even go to the church, they came up, put those lights down, put the tents up. Even year 4, we had t-shirts. Year 3 and 4, we had t-shirts, again, trying to raise money. I was like, well, let's just focus our attention on one thing
Mm-hmm.
because you have a lot of little projects going on, nothing gets accomplished.
Right.
And so that's what we did this year. And I don't know if Pastor knows this behind the scenes. I called you up and I say, I could be the MC for this, but I'm a food person. I like to make sure people are fed because no matter how great your event is, if you say you're going to serve me a meal and we run out of food before that event is
You
over,
know how we
it's a
get.
wrap.
You know how we get.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know
it's
how
a
we
wrap.
get.
So we did that, and you were so gracious when I called you. I said, I don't do last minute
Mm-hmm.
items, but
Mm-hmm.
if you would be so kind as to be the MC for this event, I greatly appreciate it. I don't know if you remember what you told me. You said, I was already prepared for it. You said the
Oh,
Holy Ghost had already told
he
me.
had already told
And I
me.
was like, click, I don't need to talk to you no more.
You sure
I'm
did.
not
You was
hanging out
like,
with you, but
all
I don't
right,
need to
have a
talk to
great
you no
day.
more.
All
Yeah,
right,
okay,
fine.
that's fine.
Yeah, see, that's that harmony I'm
Yeah,
talking about. And again, like I said, like I love talking about the behind the scenes because people don't know the emotions.
yeah,
People don't know the planning. People don't know let's be honest, the frustrations,
yeah.
right? And again, just being so, I just love working with you because you are the epitome of like being flexible, pliable, and just pivoting because you're like, this not about me. Let me
Right,
tell you what I need from you. Are you
right.
able to do da 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 da? And I just was like, it was just the harmony of it all. I was just so honored. Like I said, it was just an amazing experience. And all I kept thinking was, we at church.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I am at church and I'm having a good
A great
time.
time.
It was amazing. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for
Absolutely,
everything you've done. Thank you, even to
absolutely.
your team. I don't want to start throwing out names, but nobody's being left out. I just want to say you just did amazing, and you have been amazing. If nobody has ever told you thank you before, and I know you don't feel like that's necessary,
Yeah,
but I believe we're supposed to pour into it. That's something that me and Pastor
yeah.
were talking about. He doesn't. He was honest, like he kept saying, like I don't really allow people to pour into me like they need to, and God kind of had to slap His hand on that. So I'm gonna just take a couple moments and just tell you, Auntie. No, for real. You're impressive. And I just want to say thank you. And the Bible talks about how those younger women are supposed to sit at the feet of older women. And I just want to say thank you so much. And we'll segue on that somewhere else.
Okay,
But thank you so much
okay.
for allowing me to be able to sit at your feet and making that so easy to do. Because even though you asked me to do some things, it just made me kind of grow up a little bit. Because I said, well, if I'm going to be in the place of Auntie Denise, then I got to tighten up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
just the ask just made me say, okay, I got to walk in a little bit more womanhood here. I got to walk in a little bit more responsible. No, because you exude all of those things. You're just so gifted and you're so humble. You're never going to say it out loud. But I just want to tell you, as just a church baby, to be able to have somebody to look up to, You've been absolutely amazing.
Thank you. And I would have to say, I would be remiss if I did not say it's not me. It's just the God that I
So
serve.
God,
I just the God that I serve.
you got to drop that right there. So go
It's
ahead.
not fake. It's not anything. I tell my children, I say, in life, I think people for the most part mean well, but people will end up using you for different reasons.
Yeah.
I say, but if I could be used by God, that's more than enough for me. So what you see is God using me.
Well, I
That's all it
appreciate
is.
you for being a willing vessel
Thank
and
you.
letting him
Yes,
use you.
ma'am.
Thank you
Yes,
for
ma'am.
taking some time out and kicking it with me today. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Look, it went good,
We're
didn't
gonna
it?
do it again.
Say it again in
We're
that
gonna do it
camera.
again.
Say it
We're
again in
gonna do
that
it again.
camera.
We'll be
We are
back.
going to do this
We're gonna
again.
do this
Did y'all hear
again.
that, ladies and gentlemen? So just be ready because we got some more
We got
conversations
some
that are
more.
coming. We got more events that are coming up for 2026 as well. Listen, I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm really not trying to tell y'all to come to my church. I'm not. That ain't what this is. But you should check out my
You should
church.
check it out. I'm just saying. You
Thank
should
you,
check it out.
Auntie. I
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
so much.
All right.